Good evening, this is Cap, here to drive you crazy. And as you can tell by the title of this video, I have finally received my clearance from the NBI. So just to go in a little bit of detail from what's going to be happening from this point forth, because there's really a set of crunch time right now is what I'm going to be calling it, because we got a little bit lucky today by being able to get this clearance, but at the exact same time there's a little bit of hardship that is still happening. So we'll just generally share to you what was going on right now. So earlier today we were actually supposed to be going to General Santos City so that way I can file for my visa extension, because my initial extension is going to expire the 22nd of June. So normally I would rather go a couple of weeks earlier so that way there's no confusion. They always say you should go a little bit earlier to make sure that all paperwork and stuff gets filed properly, and that way you don't have to worry about it when it comes to receiving the extension. So ultimately it is just right now where we had gone that way, but initially we were going to be passing through what they call Coronadal City, which actually was the place that the NBI was located, the main NBI that we were able to go to, so that way I could do all my fingerprints, my signing off on all my information for myself, my wife, my family back at home in Hawaii. All that kind of stuff needed to be filled out so that way this initial thing could actually, start processing. Now I look back to it to say that it was literally the last weeks of February when we first was filing off on this, and then it was about 2 weeks later that they say that we actually needed to go to this other location to be able to fill out all the proper stuff since I was receiving as a hit. So ultimately this whole ordeal has been since almost 3 months, and we just decided to pass by that area since we're on the way to that particular location anyway, and we just go back there. We talk to all the people over there and just say, hey, we filed this back late February. We were in this building back in the second week of March to be able to do all the handprints and all the other information necessary, and here we are over 2 months, close to 3 months later, having still no clearance given to us when they said it was only supposed to take 2 weeks. And even for them, they said that is just way too long. There's no reason why it should be taking this long for you guys to receive it. So they went back and forth between the original place that we went to go file, plus them try to track down where this information was, where this clearance was, and ultimately about an hour or so later we received the call to say, hey, your clearance is actually at the building. You can come pick it up at any time. So in a lucky sense to say, if we didn't probably go to that building to try and actually figure it out and confirm to them to try and say, hey, we need this information as soon as possible, because this is something that took almost 3+ months, and it's holding me back to get my 13A visa to be able to start actually becoming a resident citizen here, be able to find my job here, and all those little necessary things. And it's been a holdback for such a long period of time that now that I have it, we can start doing everything that is properly necessary to get this 13A visa. But since obviously we're still on the way to go to General Santos, we go over to the location and realize that a lot of the buildings over there, and we had received information about this, that a lot of the malls in General Santos are going to be closed until the end of June. And that was a real bothersome, because we know that the Bureau of Immigration is in a mall in General Santos where all of our information is available. Luckily, they said it's just the mall itself, so all the stores, the food court, that kind of stuff, that's all shut down. But since there are bigger businesses and stuff like that in there for like the BI, which is what we were going there for, they will remain open for us. But the one thing that was unfortunate is we drove all the way over there just to hear that they said there is only limitations on which days you are allowed to go there from whatever location you're coming from. And for our particular location, they said that we can only go there on Tuesday. So today being Friday, we literally have to wait a couple of days to do this. So not a terrible thing. You know, it's going to be the first day of June come Tuesday. So ultimately, it's not too much of a worry, since again we still have 3 whole weeks to really be able to do that. But I'm almost looking to say, if we already have the clearance now and have all the other necessary things, which was my ACRI card, the only other things that I believe is necessary to still take care of right now is some letters that I need to write to the commissioner of the Bureau of Immigration over there, so that way we can start working and filing on the 13A visa, be able to get the form, fill it out. But the one big issue with that one is we can only do that one again in Davao City. So that one is going to be very challenging for us, because it's already difficult to go out of our way to do what we have to do right now because of the baby. You know, the baby can generally join us in going to these locations, but she won't be allowed to go into the buildings, which is why it's so difficult to say that we have to rely on my wife's family to be able to watch over her. And especially like for today, you know, we were gone for about 6 hours for the day, from the drive to get over there, from going to the NBI to try drive over to the Bureau of Immigration, and a few other things that we were trying to get clear and take care of by this point. But ultimately, the only thing that is necessary now is just finalizing out on, you know, the actual 13A visa information. So the one thing I did mention to my wife, which was the fact that there's really 2 things, which is, one, there is another location that we could go to that is, again, kind of just the same far in the drive. It's just in a different location, different direction that we would have to go to be able to actually just file the extension if we wanted to, so we could still do it a little bit earlier. But other little bit of information that keeps coming back to my mind was someone else who's going through the same process of coming here to live as a citizen had told me, if you generally have your information at one Bureau of Immigration, you should stick to that one, because they already have all your information on file. They could just go back into your original file to say, hey, you filled out this one before, we have all your other information, instead of going to a new location, possibly have to refill out all the information once again to a T, and then ultimately say that they may not even help you, because they would probably suggest going back to the original place that you did your immigration paperwork, because that is again what happened to one of the other church members who was moving here from Canada himself. So a lot of that information is still being processed. We're still trying to figure it out. Don't really want to go to a different location to know that we're just going to have to go back to the same location no matter what. But at the exact same time, I'm really trying to put into contemplation to say, hey, if we can just get this information, do the necessary paperwork, the letter, the affidavits, I believe is some of the stuff that is necessary to get the visa paperwork completely filled out, and we just go straight to Davao to file the 13A visa by this point, then we should be able to just get that completely cleared and maybe not even have to worry about doing an extension. So all of this right now, as like I said, it's basically crunch time. We've been working on this. It's been a big delay for that clearance to finally come, but since we got it, we need to start pushing forward on it. So I want to just personally say thank you for everybody who always been following me on my journey onto making sure that I can stay here as a citizen in the Philippines. Everything that I've been doing for my wife, everything that I've been doing for the baby is one of the biggest reasons why I'm here in the first place. But thank you again for watching this video. Drop a like if you liked what I had to say. Leave a comment for anything that you want to share. And of course, the subscribe button is right there for you to hit. My name is Cab, and I'm here drive you crazy. Aloha, God bless, and take care.